From Warner Park in Papillion, Nebraska, this is USL League One Soccer on ESPN+. It's Union Omaha and Greenville Triumph in a battle of the two clubs who've been the League One finalists each of the last 2 years. I'm Donnie Barnes. Let's look at how these two giants stand in this year's league table. Union Omaha coming off back-to-back road wins, which has lifted them to 6th. With their 2 games in hand still on the leaders. Greenville, meanwhile, had won 2 in a row before losing at Madison last week. They had temporarily moved to the top of the table. They slipped to 4th after that 3-2 defeat. Well, games at this level are often decided by a moment of quality. And for Union Omaha, Noe Meza provided a spectacular one last week in Union Omaha's 2-1 victory at FC Tucson. It was his 5th goal in all competitions this season. And for Noe, what a free kick it was. One of the goals of the League One season so far. You weren't sure initially if he was too far out. He said, no, that's well within my range. He scored some bangers from free kicks in college at the University of Seattle, and that was quite an effort last week, part of that 2-1 victory. For Greenville, meanwhile, Jacob Labovitz scored 2 excellent goals last week at Madison. This first one really sharp, arrowing that into the bottom corner after a neat turn. The second goal in the second half, of a different nature, but also the kind of goal strikers need to be able to score, feasting on scraps, picking up that loose ball and slamming it in. It was actually ruled offside initially, but the linesman and referee consulted and decided it was a good goal. Not quite enough for Greenville, but Labovitz very much on the up. 3 goals in his last 3 matches. Now, it's a hot early summer evening in the Omaha Metro. The feels-like temperature has been well over 100 degrees all day. We'll see who handles those conditions in this highly anticipated clash between 2 of League One's best starting 11s and kickoff. Next.
My name is Peter Marlette. I'm the general manager of Union Omaha, and I'm a Bellevue University student. Getting this master's degree is important to me because there's always more to learn. There's always ways to improve yourself no matter what position you're in, and being able to focus on international business management specifically as opposed to sports in general or soccer in general is just going to make me a much more complete manager, leader, and employee of Union Omaha. I think Bellevue University and Union Omaha are such great partners because we both share the same goals of educating the community and improving the Omaha metro area and global community for that matter. We also fit so well together because so many of our players traditionally have to choose between pursuing a professional soccer career or pursuing their education, and because of this partnership we no longer have to do that. Bellevue University is allowing our players to be full-time professional soccer players and still be students and still further their education and develop as people off the soccer field. So I think it makes perfect sense for us to work together.
Tonight, we would like to welcome our Centris Federal Credit Union ball kids. If you want to be a Centris ball kid at the next Union Omaha match, visit unionomaha.com/community to sign up. Thank you to Nebraska State Soccer for helping us select the Centris ball kids. Welcome back to Warner Park. Our officials and players making their way onto the pitch before this anticipated match. Well, this is the rematch of last year's USL League One final. It was a memorable night for Union Omaha right here at Warner Park. The final that wasn't able to be played between these two clubs in 2020. Last year it was, and Union Omaha got off to an ideal start with a 6th-minute goal. And then just before halftime, a second goal stabbed home, and it was 2-0. At the break, Evan Conway and Greg Hurst with those first half tallies, and then in stoppage time, Toby Otieno rounded out the scoring, put the icing on the cake, and the trophy was lifted moments after. Union Omaha with their first USL League One title. Let's look at the starting lineups for tonight's matchup. For the home side, Union Omaha, coached of course by Jay Mims. They make 2 changes from last week. Gabriel Claudio red-carded at FC Tucson, so he's out tonight. Alex Touche comes in his place along with Eddie Gordon. For Greenville Triumph, they make 2 changes as well from last week's 3-2 defeat at Madison. Noah Pilato and Jimmy Filerman are in. Miles Fenton drops to the bench. Jesus Ibarra was injured last week. He'll be a big miss for them. He's been one of their leading chance creators on the year. And they will hope that he's able to be back soon, but he is not in the 18 tonight. There you see Union Omaha wearing their black tops and shorts this evening. They are back in black. They've not gotten to wear all black very often this year. This is just their third home match in League One play. Just their third match at Werner Park. They have not really gotten the opportunity to get familiar with their home stadium and pitch. They looked very uncomfortable in their last home match a few weeks ago against Northern Colorado. That was a drawn out or a ground out 0-0 draw. Greenville Triumph, you see them wearing their away white kits tonight with the blue stripe down the middle. They have led League One in shots taken this year with over 150. About a third of those have come from set pieces. So both these sides can be very potent and dangerous on those set piece situations, corners and free kicks. There's Luis Arroyo. He is our referee this evening. Officials all wearing those neon green tops. Bright sunshine, wind blowing as it often is here in the Omaha metro area. Greenville will get us underway as they'll attack from left to right in this first half. We're underway in scorching conditions as two clubs who have set the pace in USL League One over the past 2 years renew their rivalry here in 2022. Don Smart, who's moved into that midfield for Greenville in recent weeks and has been a really good presence there. Had his first touch a moment ago. Now it's Omaha's turn to possess for the first time. Long ball over the top will skid out of play for our first goal kick of the match. Our starting lineups, by the way, were presented by Rotella's Italian Bakery. All goals tonight will be presented by Nebraska Lottery, and of course from a neutral standpoint, we hope we have plenty of them. These are two sides that can be very stingy in defense. They often have been this season and in years past. Unusual to see Greenville concede 3 times last week. Our head coach John Harks felt that they had 4 or 5 players that weren't at the level required last week. He said they've addressed that in training this week. There's Rashid Nuhu, who's been such a steady presence for Omaha between the sticks the last 3 years. He had to make some big saves last week, especially late on when Omaha were reduced to 10 men and were hanging on to that 2-1 advantage. As they would see out the remaining minutes down a man and take all 3 points for a second consecutive week. This is, of course, a pitch that's very narrow and shorter than the standard soccer pitch, so much less room with which to work for attackers on this surface. This will be another goal kick for Omaha 2 minutes in. And both these teams can be very adept at shrinking the field anyway and compressing space, not giving their opponents much room to play through. So it is the kind of night and the kind of matchup where Owls head coach Jay Mims said this week they'll have to be very patient and keep their attitude, keep their mentality. So we have to be organized on our set pieces. There might not be a lot of chances either way. And if it takes us 92 or 96 minutes to win the game, no problem. You can hear him barking instructions, wanting Ryan Jiba to go higher on the left side. That ran away from Noe Meza. Evan Lee back to his goalkeeper, Paul Christensen. Those second balls will be so vital tonight. They always are when you're playing against Omaha, a team that's exceptionally good at winning second balls. And here Jay Mims wants Ryan Jiba to get higher and wider early in this match. Now, first touch for Hugo Kamatani. He's been a little quieter the last few weeks after an excellent start to his first professional campaign. That's a neat touch into Joe Brito. He goes down. Referee says play on. Neat touch off the chest. Meza, and then over the top it goes. Kamatani wrestling for it. It's put out into touch by Nate Schultz, who was the last man there and had to get that right. John Harkes talked about Nate Schultz earlier this year. What a great addition he's been to this side. Out to harass there, and it's another Union Omaha throw. Good defending in numbers there in the corner, and what a neat touch that was initially before it ran out of play. Alan Gavilanes, who has led Greenville in chances created this year. Now, goalkeeper started to come, then hesitated. It's Malcolm onto it. Edge of the area, Brito. The overlapping run eventually is from Bawa. Can he keep that in play? Nope. It's across the end line. It's a goal kick. Good attack there from Union Omaha. Paul Christensen, who was a little hesitant coming off his line for forward Madison's third goal in that match last week. John Harkes spoke about that, said he needed to do a bit better there. Normally does do better in those kinds of situations. Well, again, showed some hesitation there as that ball rolled to the end line a moment ago. Kamal Malcolm now on that right-hand side. Up against Evan Lee, trying to surge to the end line, but Lee did well to stand him up. Fans howling for a free kick, nothing given. Jay Mims furious that nothing was given. That's one of the interesting things about Werner Park. You can always hear the coaches much more than at some other stadiums in this league. Interesting to listen to them both coach their own teams and lobby the fourth official. Seeing lots of those long balls over the top for both sides in these early exchanges. I see that wind blowing from left to right. And so Greenville going with the wind in this first half. Might have to moderate the touch and the weight on those balls over the top for them to stay in play. Ball down the right-hand side where Kamatani is offside. To be a little careful about kicking that ball out of play after the whistle goes. If it's a little later in the match, and maybe if Union Omaha were in the lead, you might get carded for kicking the ball away like that. Greenville got off to a very rough start this season, especially by their lofty standards. They took just 5 out of the first 15 available points over their opening 5 matches. Much better since, despite the defeat last week. They're going to have an attacking throw here deep in Omaha's defensive third. Going into last week, Greenville had taken 9 out of 12 points, now 9 of their last 15. They had moved from down toward the bottom of the table to the very top going into last week's game. Now they start tonight in 4th. Slack ball there. Cleaned up, though, by Evan Lee. Now down the left-hand side they come. Tyler Polak getting forward by that corner flag. Lots of black shirts in the vicinity. Pulled back to the edge of the area. Lifted toward the top of the 6. Over everyone's head and out. First time we've seen Greenville able to build an attack down one of those flanks. Talking about Greenville, though, their chance creation has gotten so much better in recent weeks. They've found some playmakers. It's resulted in many more chances created. Hasn't always resulted in the number of goals they would like. They've sometimes struggled to finish their opportunities. I mentioned they are without their playmaking midfielder Jesus Ibarra this week, after he was injured during that Madison match last Saturday. He had been their second leading chance creator Alan Gavilanes has led the way for them. There's a shot of the Parliament behind that goal to the left. Gavilanes, Ibarra, Don Smart, and Jake Keegan, the main four playmakers for Greenville this season. And their chances created have about doubled over the last several weeks. Free kick here for the visitors. Coutinho was impeded. And with 9 minutes on the clock, first set-piece opportunity for Greenville. Joe Brito whistled for holding Coutinho back. Referee asking Hugo Kamatani to back up. Don Smart and Gavilanes both around this free kick. Gavilanes raises the arm, lifts it into the box, flicked backward off an Omaha head. This will be the first corner of the match. And again, in a match that figures to be tight and tense, where chances might be at a premium, set pieces will be massive tonight between two sides that tend to be awfully good at them. Don Smart will serve in a right-footed in-swinger. Solidly headed clear by Isaac Bawa. And the diving header clear by Dalton Knutson. That's a tricky one for Bawa to deal with. He did it well. And Mims wants his forwards to press forward. Kamatani not quite able to get to that one, though, and Greenville reset at the back. This is part of a packed and really intriguing weekend in League One. Game that started earlier. They're in the 79th minute in Richmond. It's 3-1. Richmond Kickers leading Northern Colorado. Richmond looking to stay hot and stay at the top of the table. As Nuhu gathers this one easily. It's that long kick right away. It's dealt with easily by Greenville, but at the expense of a throw. Meza, under some pressure, lost the ball. Chance for Greenville to counter. Again, they play that long ball over the top. Again, there's too much on it. Trying to serve in Jacob Labovitz there. We mentioned in our open, 2 goals last week, 3 in his last 3 games. He's now tied for the team lead in goals on the season with 3. Well, celebrating its 75th anniversary, Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of USL League One. Choose what you play with at www.selectsportamerica.com. Select, League's choice, player's choice.
Wider, Ryan. Wider. Now you can flatten out if you need to. Come on, all the way down there. Get up, Noe! Up, Betty!
Ball toward Kamatani, wins the initial header. Looped it a bit too far for Kamal Malcolm. Malcolm then trying to pressure Don Smart, who dealt with that very well. Interesting to see how Union Omaha have lined up in this game. Often in recent weeks, it's been Malcolm starting out on the right and Kamatani starting central as part of that 2-man forward line. Today it's the opposite. Malcolm's up top and Kamatani's out on that right-hand side, sometimes tucking in when the ball goes forward as Greenville are flagged for offside. Greenville have handled that pretty well in this opening quarter of an hour.
Up and in, Ryan. Up and in. Joey's wide. All right. Wide, Joey. Go, Ryan. Go, Ryan.
Omaha would like to get Noe Meza on the ball a bit more.
Higher. You're in, Ryan. Joey, you're in.
Looking for that line-splitting ball toward Kamatani. John Hark says to be pretty pleased with how his defense has started this match. They're previous games at Werner Park this year, Union Omaha with a 3-0 victory over Central Valley Fuego. 2 of those goals came in stoppage time. And that 0-0 draw against Northern Colorado. Second ball falls to Kamatani. He has a hit straight into the defender. Stabbed up into the air. Chiba unable to settle it. Gavilanes settles it down. Smart. Switch of play toward the left. Underhit a bit that time. Bauer able to clear. Meza out-muscled for the ball, though. Now trying to cut his way inside. This is Filerman, and it hops off a deflection off the side of the net, and it will be a goal kick. Opportunity there for Greenville, and it was Jimmy Filerman, who has come into the starting 11 this week. Made things happen down that left side. Some warning bells for Omaha there, as they were cut open pretty well for that shot opportunity. It was a little bit tame and deflected out. So we've played a quarter of an hour. Both sides have had one shot that was blocked and off target. Brito. First real time he's been onto the ball in the attacking half. Edge of the area, Meza. Heavier touch than he would have liked. Lucas Coutinho back from injury this week. Noah Pilato. Nate Schultz. Omaha trying to get that high press established. Haven't been able to do it as much as they'd like. Christensen forward. Oh, a good little feint, and then winning of a free kick by Eddie Gordon. Smart took him down. Just a neat little drop of the shoulder there by Gordon to fool Smart. Better little spell of possession here for Omaha. And a side that's normally quite comfortable not possessing the ball that much. Malcolm had it taken off his toe. Doyle now. Down the right, Bauer, good cross, deflects over the bar. I think it was Malcolm who got the final touch, and he wasn't far away. Best attack of the night so far for Omaha. Bauer, who teed up Malcolm for a beautiful headed goal last week. That was a little back heel flick, wasn't it? That would have been a spectacular finish if it had gone in the net. Great improvisation from Kamal Malcolm, who you can tell is growing in confidence each week. Remember, he joined Omaha about a month into the regular season. It's taken him a while to find his legs here in Omaha. Trying to find him down the middle there was Brito, not quite. Jay Mims wants Malcolm to hustle back and defend now. A little bit of space for Gavilanes. Trying to turn and hit it on the half volley. Didn't really get a hold of it. Here is Lucas Coutinho. Brazil native, played for FC Tulsa in USL Championship last year. Was in League One with Tormenta FC in 2019 and 20. Bauer trying to exchange with Meza, who wanted to serve him down the line. Again, defended well.
It'll be at the 30th minute. Yep, we're in 18.
Elsewhere in League One, Northern Colorado just scored again, and it's now 3-2 in favor of Richmond. with about 4 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. Bit of a wild finish there because Richmond were cruising. They've been playing against 10 men since late in the first half. Northern Colorado took back-to-back yellow cards and were reduced to 10. Richmond scored 2 goals then before halftime against the 10 men, scored a third early in the second half. Looked like they were going to sail home to an easy win. A little less simple now, although they're still in front. Cavalagna's classy touch to kill that ball and then put it off Kamatani for a throw. John Hark's unhappy with something on that Greenville touchline. What a job he's done with the Triumph over the last several years, establishing them as a juggernaut in this league. Qualified for the League One final all 3 years of the league's existence. Good connection down the right by the Triumph. Kamatani saves that. Does well to find Brito. Possibilities here in the attack for Omaha. It's Malcolm one-on-one out wide. Forced to turn back, does well. Could have gone down there, stays on his feet. Now Brito. He has Kamatani to his left. Brito finds him now. Brito by the end line. Put off the defender. Some howls for handball from Parliament behind the goal. Referee uninterested. Just a little bit too much on the ball from Brito that left Kamatani a bit too much to do. Both these sides capable of sitting in and defending for long stretches, but equally capable of turning defense into attack so quickly. Fascinating tactical matchup among many other things here tonight. Ooh, a slack touch there, and then Noah Pilato had to haul down Eddie Gordon, and he takes a yellow card, and that's an easy call. There's the initial mistake on the touch, and Gordon would have been away and would have been in. Just a bad touch there, and then immediately hauled Gordon down. Wasn't going to let him race away. Might have had teammates who had the angle to deal with it, but they still would have been outnumbered. Gordon would have had the opportunity, I think, to slip in Bawa on the right if he'd wanted to. So not the worst yellow card for Pilato to take in the situation, but now obviously has to be very careful the rest of the way tonight. Resulting free kick doesn't come to much. The attack's still alive for Omaha. Now Gordon tripped up, another foul. Labovitz whistled that time.
All the way up, Joey. Scoot up, Joey. Scoot up. Hey, Ryan's in. Ryan. Higher, Ryan. Higher, Ryan.
See what the Owls line up from this ensuing set piece. Little too far out for Noe Meza this time. Ken Joe Brito has taken most of their set pieces throughout the year.
Set it up, Joey. Set your ball up, Joey.
Doesn't usually take the ones that are within range of a direct free kick, though. Now Brito lifting that right to the goalkeeper. Not up to his usual standard on the delivery that time. Well, it's a USL on ESPN matinee when two surging sides meet in the Motor City. It's El Paso Locomotive FC and Detroit City FC. Saturday at noon Eastern on ESPN. And you can start your Saturday with another USL on ESPN matinee when Hartford Athletic welcome Louisville City FC to the Nutmeg State. Don't miss the action Saturday, June 25th at 1 p.m. Eastern on ESPN, powered by Hisense.
Eventually we gotta go to Connor. Hey, look at Eddie. Hey. Connor.
Be another free kick here for Omaha right by the touchline.
And then go the other way. That's
Schultz
where you're at.
guilty of that infraction. Brito takes it short this time.
Get it again, Ryan. Get it again. Early, move it early. Turn. Go ahead, Ryan. Come on, go ahead, Eddie.
It's
Up,
Ryan
up,
Chiba.
buddy, up.
He's not had a lot of sniffs going forward in this first half. And Malcolm committed the foul that time. And he's going to get a yellow card, sliding in from behind. So one caution for either side now. Pilato for Greenville, now Malcolm for Omaha. John Harks giving some close range instruction to Nate Schultz before this free kick is taken by Paul Christensen. Greenville not on the same page there as a ball over the top, not met by any runners. North Carolina have just taken the lead against Charlotte Independence in the North Carolina Derby. First time those two sides have met in USL League One. Long-time rivals in other leagues over the years. Malcolm dropping deep to pick up that ball, looking for options coming forward now. Down the right to Bawa. He'll get to it, trying to cut inside. Well defended again.
This way, right.
It was Jimmy Filerman who dropped all the way back to defend that, I believe. Richmond still trying to hang on to that 3-2 lead deep into stoppage time against Northern Colorado. Later this evening out west, it'll be Central Valley Fuego home against Tucson, FC Tucson that is. It's a renewal of a Western derby. Jiba able to win that ball, but then some miscommunication with Kamatani, who was closer to him than he thought. And the attack breaks down. Nate Schultz. Brandon Fricky. Evan Lee. That was a calm touch. Good build-up play from Greenville. Smart now stabs it forward. Again, too much weight on the pass. It was a really neat build-up from the Triumph. Jay Mims and Union Omaha, although they will be focused on this match entirely for these 90 minutes, selecting his starting 11 for this game. As this ball is lofted toward Kamatani. Will stay in play for him by the corner flag. Chips it off a man for a throw. Union Omaha do also have that U.S. Open Cup game coming up on Wednesday at Sporting Kansas City. The Lamar Hunt quarterfinal. Be a historic evening for this club. First USL League One side to get to the quarterfinal, of course, and they will take, they believe, over 1,000 fans down Highway 95, I-95 that is, to Kansas City. Be a huge occasion. Here's Bawa striking one from distance, on target, good hit. Christensen behind it. This is the start of what could be a very draining week for Omaha. Playing tonight in feels like 100-degree heat. And then at Sporting KC Wednesday in such a massive game, and then they'll travel to South Georgia to play Tormenta. This header flashes wide, and the flag is up anyhow. A dangerous little build-up down that left, though. It was Labovitz who had just strayed past the final defender when that ball was released. Connor Doyle. Bauer. Touche. Knutson. Omaha bench wanting their team to move it faster. Which is easier said than done in this heat. Malcolm. Bauer. Malcolm steaming in. Went down. Play on, says the referee. And Omaha having to put the ball out into touch with their teammates still down.
Hey, no, that was a bad foul. Rick, can we see that replay? Rick, can we see the replay of that? Can we see the replay of that?
Well, Malcolm staying down after that challenge a moment ago, and he's upset that he didn't get the call.
Do you want the trainer?
That's a foul, you can see him saying. Well, they were nearly at 30 minutes, so we'll have the hydration break now anyhow. Well, we mentioned Union Omaha will be playing in that Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup quarterfinal on Wednesday. It has been quite a run for them as they have steamed through 4 rounds. It started back in late March against Des Moines Menace at Morrison Stadium, and then upsetting Chicago Fire in a penalty shootout. Rashid Nuhu with the big save. Dion Akoff with the winning penalty that he coolly stroked home as the Owls defeated Chicago at Soldier Field. And then Northern Colorado vanquished at UNO's campus across town in Omaha. That beautiful goal capped off by Connor Doyle. And then what a hit this was from Joe Brito against Minnesota United in the last round, the round of 16. That was a goal worthy to win a cup tie. And Union Omaha knocking off a second MLS club in this magical run that they have been on in the cup, and that they hope will continue on Wednesday against Sporting KC. They will again be heavy underdogs, but Sporting KC not exactly having the best season in MLS. They are second from the bottom in the overall standings. They are at the bottom of the Western Conference, but still have plenty of quality, of course, as an MLS team. Union Omaha will believe they can pull yet another upset and qualify for the semifinal, which would be incredible if they could do so. Yeah, stay in the shade and by the fan. That's smart spectating. And you do wonder how much energy both these sides will have late today. I'm sure both head coaches will make full use of their substitutes as this one goes along.
Here we go, gents. Here we go.
Managers and coaching staffs have to love hydration breaks on days and nights when they have them. Basically a free time out in the middle of each half to reset a bit and talk tactics for a minute or two. Not normally a luxury that soccer coaches have had for most of the sport's history. John Harkes trying to mastermind his side's charge up the table again this year. They had gone from down toward the bottom all the way to the top going into last weekend. Has gone final in Richmond. Richmond Kickers holding on for that 3-2 win over Northern Colorado. So their surge continues. They will remain top of the League One standings.
Hey, what you have for that hydration break?
It was 2.5.
You had 2.5 at it? You had 2.5?
Yep. That's not to say what we'll add, but at minimum, that was 2.5 for the water break.
Turn!
See what Omaha can create off the hydration break. Bawa, Kamatani, Malcolm, not quite. Well, don't miss a minute of the action in 2022. Whether your club is on the road or at home, catch nearly every second of USL League One action on ESPN+, the home to the USL, MLS, La Liga, the Bundesliga, UFC, and more. Sign up today at plus.espn.com.
In, Ryan, in.
Ball somehow reached Labovitz. Now Smart. Coutinho trying to slide somebody in. Crowded out by black shirts. Jiba now wins the throw. Brito.
Thank you.
Ooh, clever back heel. Kamatani looking for some support. Clips it inside. Looks for the underlap from Brito. And that Greenville Central defense really solid, reading those balls well. Evan Lee that time cutting it out. Jiba takes the ensuing throw. Knutson for Doyle.
Higher, Ryan.
Knutson again. And didn't connect with Gordon, but Gordon gets it back.
Forward. Put your foot on it. Yep, see the numbers.
Jay Mims wanting Gordon to go forward instead of taking it backward.
Slide, Alex, slide. Not too deep, Alex. Get up! Up!
Seen a number of times in this first half. Both teams really like to get forward down either flank. But both teams' defense is so well set up to deny most of those flank runs. That's another ball that's much too long in the Greenville attack. Goal kick. Not clear whether it's a goal kick or a throw. I thought the linesman initially pointed for a goal kick. And it will be. Players and officials were a bit confused initially. Knutson with a good little take there as he put Coutinho on the ground. Doyle. Mesa. Malcolm. Between the lines, Kamatani, a half chance. He was offside. It's one of those moments, though. We've seen it both with Greenville and with Omaha in this first half, where they can just spark to life out of nowhere, connect a few little passes between the lines, and suddenly they have a half chance. None of those half chances have turned into goals yet. Smart. Now there's some space for Gavilanes. Returned to him by Schultz. Then Gavilanes serves in the cross. Bicycle kick attempt was acrobatic, but unsuccessful from Labovitz. Well, that's the kind of attempt of a man who scored 3 goals in his last 3 games and is full of confidence all of a sudden. Didn't quite pull it off, though. More of a half bicycle or a flying volley than the full bike, but would have been spectacular if he connected. Seven minutes plus stoppage time remaining of this first half. Gordon does well to win that tussle. Knutson harassed by Coutinho. Jiba, some space to roam forward. Tucking inside a bit, trying to push it past a man, ran into him. Now the referee blows the whistle. Which way is this going? I believe the free kick is Greenville's, as Jiba ran into Fricky. Well, you can see the thought from Jiba, just trying to push it past Fricky and race by him, but too heavy with his push. And then hoped he could gain the free kick, but the referee was not buying it.
Hey, ref, is our guy all right? Luis, is he okay?
heavy collision.
Hey, anything that takes this much explanation can't be right. What was the call?
Again, you can listen to the lobbying on the touchline.
Anything that takes this much explanation can't be right. Coach, your player threw his elbow out in front of him. He tried to get around, the guy stepped into it. He throws his elbow out at his neck. We'll give it to you every time as well. But he can't throw his elbow out in front of his neck. He's running. He's trying to get around him, the guy steps into it.
That was off touche, and this will be a throw for Greenville. Fascinating to listen to the explanation from the fourth official to the Omaha coaching staff. Now, defending to do for Omaha. Greenville to the attack. Attempted cross came off the heel of a defender. Now Smart with a hit from distance. Doyle got the block in. Chance for a counter here for the Owls. Neat step by Brito. Harassed really well by Evan Lee to slow up that attack, though, and force him to turn back. Now the free kick for the Owls. And a yellow card shown. And that's Labovitz who goes into the book in the 41st minute. Yellow cards presented by the Hale Varsity Club. This is the second Hale Varsity card of the night for Greenville. Again, Noah Pilato booked earlier in the half. Kamal Malcolm, remember, in the book for Omaha. Again, an overhit ball into the box. This has been such a fortress for Union Omaha over the last couple seasons. So difficult for opponents to come in here in these shorter, closer, narrower dimensions. The odd sight lines. But Omaha not really looking too comfortable here yet either this season. They just haven't been able to be on this pitch much. Gavilanes forward. Jiba able to stop that attack. Now Meza dropping deep. Scooping it to Kamatani. Good touch by Hugo. Greenville hustling back into shape very well as usual. But besides this being just the third match of the season for Omaha on this pitch, they've hardly been able to train here either. So just not a lot of time or repetitions to familiarize themselves with these confines. Suspect that their comfort and advantage here will grow as the year goes on. Malcolm to Meza. Meza. Malcolm scuffed it, and it deflected, I think, off Meza and is easily gathered by Christensen. It's good interplay between the two, but unable to fashion a clear chance from it. This is the time at the end of a half where you especially have to maintain your focus. Goal for either side just before halftime. Could be decisive. Brito, Malcolm, lining one up, took a deflection again, falls kindly right to Christensen. That's a couple that have spun off somebody and in theory could have spun anywhere. Rolled right to the Greenville keeper. Now, here's Labovitz down the right, cutting inside. Labovitz with the touch and the goal. And Greenville hit the front before halftime. What a big moment. They lost the league title on this pitch last year. They're in front before halftime in the renewal of this rivalry, and it's a fourth goal in the last 4 matches for Jacob Labovitz. His touch looked a little heavy. You wondered if the chance had gone, but still able to wrap his foot around it, and it looked like it came off touche last and nestled into that bottom corner. Labovitz, who hasn't had many moments in this first half, but didn't need many. That's the mark of a good striker, and a striker who's playing with confidence. And indeed, it's a goal right before half. It is Omaha who blink first in this showdown. Well, it's just the 5th meeting between these two sides over the past 3 years. Not a big sample size to go from. Besides that final, it's been visiting sides who have tended to have the advantage. This one lifted back into the box, and Nuhu able to claim. Play that quickly, but Jan Kamal Malcolm. Came off the referee, much to the home fans' frustration. Being told there will be 3 minutes added on at the end of this half. Here's the indication. Omaha would love to pull that goal back before half, of course.
Thank you.
It's well done by Knutson to tower and win that header. Good job by Cavalanes, though, to turn and hold off Kamatani and earn the foul. Greenville will not be in a hurry to take this. They would love to get to half now with this lead intact. Well, it'd be interesting to see that goal again. Union Omaha, I think, fell asleep. And Labovitz suddenly was isolated one-on-one down that right side against Ryan Jiba. And Jiba's defended really well this year for a guy who had never been asked to be a defender at any level until this season. Labovitz was able to cut inside him that particular time. Jiba's cross overhit around everybody. Some frustration from Noe Meza. This is not technically the first time Union Omaha have trailed in a match in League One this year, but it effectively is. They had only trailed for a total of 1 minute in league play this year. Remember, they conceded that 94th minute winner in the final minute of stoppage time at Charlotte Independence late in April. It was the only time they'd been behind in a league match. They've had 4 draws, none of which they trailed in. They had scored first in every match until now. Now they have to avoid conceding a second. That's a good intervention by Touche. That's Greenville ending the half very well. Stung by that defeat last weekend, stung by defeat by conceding 3 goals, very uncharacteristically. Conceded in just the second minute of that match. Both these teams so difficult to beat when they score first over the last few years.
Go ahead.
Christensen has to come out to deal with that in the final seconds of this first half. Nate Schultz credited with the assist on that Labovitz goal. Out into touch. Referee blows the whistle. That's the end of the first half. And that 44th minute goal from Jacob Labovitz has the visitors in front at the break. And this League One showdown between these two finalists, these two titans of this circuit. Wasn't much in it. Weren't too many chances either way. We suspected there might not be, but Labovitz took his. And the triumph in control at the break. 45 minutes gone, 45 to go. It's Greenville Triumph 1, Union Omaha 0.
I'm actually the first person in my whole entire family, teenagers, adults, kids, grandparents, that's gotten my bachelor's degree. It was 16 hours to Missouri, and then we picked up my dad and my brother, and then it was another 5 hours here. I didn't get a walk for high school. Everyone else gets that opportunity, so when it came to this, I was like, I don't care how far it is away.
There you go.
Thank you. So where did you even start?
Nebraska medicine.
Really?
He's home now. They implanted this tiny device where they can monitor his heart from anywhere.
I have some good news. Cancer's in remission. CAR T cells work.
Oh my God, amazing. They actually removed the clot that was causing Marie's stroke. She's doing great.
No matter what it is, without question, they are our go-to.
Your connection to the state's most comprehensive care. Nebraska Medicine.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Easy one in USL League One. Chris Makoviak has the highlights from a wild weekend.
A big Saturday in League One starts in Richmond. Charlotte heading up to take on the Red Army. Mike Jeffries 2-0-2 in his last 4 trips to City Stadium. The Kickers, though, here in the 14th minute, having other Did absolutely nothing to clarify the table in League One. 2 points separate first through 10th. Anyone could take over first place from Richmond as we move into the matches this week. And so far, 75% of League One matches have been a draw or decided by 1 goal. This is why the table is so tight. Coming up, we'll have more from the USL.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Welcome back to Werner Park. The USL soccer infrastructure is like nothing else for the sport in this country, and it is working. We've seen athletes mature and perform through the USL leagues and move on to some of the biggest soccer stages in the world. This week, the league's all-time transfer record was broken when Orange County SC completed the transfer of 18-year-old center back Kobe Henry to Stade de Reims in Ligue 1, the top tier of soccer in France. Kobe, the U.S. Youth International, is currently enjoying some downtime in Miami before preseason begins in France. He sat down with former U.S. men's national team great and Hall of Famer Eric Winalda, who was one of the first Americans to play in Europe, to discuss his journey.
You were a player that was sought after. You could have done this differently, but you chose to play in USL. Why did you take this pathway?
I believe that the USL had a better pathway for me to reach my goals. Orange County had a great plan and set for me to go and do big things in my career.
The first part of that dream is to be signed in a club in Europe. Where's your head right now?
I've dreamed of this moment since I was a little kid, playing in the biggest stadiums and over in Europe, overseas. So this is really a dream come true for me.
Kobe, since day one he came in and he understood what his role was, just to grab all the information he could. He's on a journey to fulfill a bigger pathway, which was going to Europe.
Deflected out by Kobe Henry.
You're in Europe and you look back at how you got there. Talk to me about making that decision and now how good you feel about it working out.
At Orange County, they had a pathway set for me every day to try and develop and get more game time so I could eventually make the move over to Europe. That's always been my passion and my dream. And now that I've made the move, I'm just really excited and ready to get to work.
What does it mean now to send one of your players off to a level that a lot of people didn't think was possible, but he's done it through your tutelage?
Hopefully that just sort of ignites a real movement throughout the USL that other clubs take our lead. and we start developing top talents. It's a job of us as an organisation and as a league to try and develop the next superstar. Kobe joined us with a lot of potential, but Kobe's real super strength is his mindset, his ability to learn. He has an environment around him that we try and give him that nourishment, but ultimately we can only give him the food. It's down him to apply it, and he's done that on a daily basis, and obviously he's reaping the rewards for that.
With Kobe's transfer into Stade de Reims, what that has done for the league and for us as a club, now a lot more players are looking at the USL as a development because it's very clear we control the players' rights 100%. We can sell the players as soon as he's ready to be sold. I think every team in the USL has the opportunity now to learn that you can develop players while still competing for championships, and you don't have to do one without the other.
You are young, but what would you say to the next kid? If you had the chance to have an influence, what would you tell them?
I would say to explore the USL League for sure, especially a club such as Orange County. They had a whole plan set for me, and together we've gone through and achieved every single thing and ticked every single box.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Owls fans, do you want to fly like an owner? Thanks to JetLinks, you can. Every time you scan your ticket at the gates this season, you'll be automatically entered into the JetLinks Fly Like an Owner sweepstakes. JetLinks will fly a fan and guest via private jet with Union Omaha owner Gary Green to a road match at the end of the season. You and your guest will receive the full VIP owner experience for the duration of the trip. To learn more about your personal jet company, or if you're interested in a career in aviation with JetLinks, please visit jetlinks.com. Welcome back to Werner Park. A 1-0 advantage for Greenville triumph over Union Omaha. The renewal of this battle for the belt as we look at highlights from our opening 45 minutes. Again, there wasn't much in it for the first 44 minutes. This early chance for Gavilanes, he scuffed that, I think, off his standing leg as it went out harmlessly for a goal kick. Omaha had some attacks down the right side. This was the best of the bunch. Good ball in from Isaac Bawa, and Kamal Malcolm with an acrobatic and creative flicked attempt as he and another attacker crashed in at that near post. Not quite. A little turnaround try from Gavilanes again didn't quite come off. He's a guy who has led this Greenville team in chances created, trying to create for himself that time. This was Isaac Bawa unleashing from distance. Pretty good strike, but straight at the goalkeeper, Paul Christensen. Just put his laces right through it, but Christensen saw it all the way. Gavilanes then with a good cross for Jacob Labovitz, who made an acrobatic, sort of half bicycle, half flying volleyed attempt. And that came harmlessly off his shin, but Labovitz was not finished, as it turned out, in the first half. Here he was isolated with Dalton Knutson out wide, and he just beats him to the inside, and then took that heavy touch, it seemed, but it was a perfect touch, as it turned out. He spun it right off of Alex Touche and into that far corner. As Labovitz given so much room to roam, first wide and then right into the center by the penalty spot. Union Omaha will have some inquests as to how that was allowed to happen. The Labovitz took full advantage. We'll see just how crucial that turns out to be when this match is through. 5 shots for either side as we see our halftime statistics. Union Omaha had the majority of possession, which is not something they normally do, and arguably it's not something they're all that comfortable with. 56 to 44% in that category. 2 yellow cards for Greenville Triumph. Union Omaha were shown 1. So Greenville with that advantage coming back for half number 2. And again, interesting watching that goal back. As we talked about how it was Knutson who was isolated out wide. He's a central defender, remember. And in our conversation with Greenville head coach John Harkes earlier this week, he said that with Jiba and Bawa, that's Ryan Jiba and Isaac Bawa, the 2 fullbacks for Union Omaha, the 2 wide defenders who will both get forward down either wing, he said if we could stretch them a little bit, I think Knutson and whoever they decide to play at that center back role, which has turned out to be Alex Touche, he said we can get at them a little bit centrally. Well, that's exactly what happened on that goal when you watch it back. In this case, Ryan Jiba on that left-hand side, he was up the pitch. He was out of the play, essentially, which forced Knutson to have to come out wide to defend, so they were able to stretch the flanks and take them out of the play and isolate themselves against the central defenders and indeed get at them, as John Harkes had put it. Notice how that goal was created. And now we'll see what kind of response Union Omaha have in this second half after talking it over the past 15 minutes or so with their coaching staff. Even though it's just a 1-goal deficit, it feels like they have a lot to do. Again, at the start of such a busy and figures to be an emotionally and physically draining week for them. Playing in low 90s official temperatures, but triple-digit feels-like temperatures tonight. How much will they have in the tank in this second half to try to rescue this one? We're about to find out as our second half is underway, with Omaha now attacking from left to right, and they win an early free kick. See, Dion Akoff has come into the match for them, as has Yoskar Galvan. And it's Akoff crossing centrally, and it ran right past a couple Omaha players. Boy, nobody in black could get a telling touch on it. That was a good opportunity. Akoff making an impact right away. So for Omaha, it's a triple change. Yoskar Galvan has come on. So has Dion Akoff, as we saw, and J.P. Skiers. The 3 players removed for Omaha: Ryan Jiba, Joe Brito, and Noe Meza. So a triple change at half. Jay Mims, again, partly because of the 3 games in 8 days this week. Also, I think because he feels not a lot was working, especially from an attacking standpoint in that first half. Making some bold and decisive changes right at halftime. That ball from Akoff. Skiers lets it run out of play. This will be the first corner of the match for Union Omaha. They did not have one in the entire first half. It is a Modelo corner kick upcoming for the home side. And it is Yoskar Galvan who will take with Brito out of the match. Galvan's outswinger. First ball was won by an Omaha head. Some shouts for handball. Alex Touche, the one who won the header, and then immediately threw his hand up asking for handball. Put into the box harmlessly and stabbed out. Greenville have made a couple changes as well, we're being told. Venton Evans has come on for them. Alan Gavilanes has come out of the match for them. And then Jake Keegan has come on for Jacob Labovitz. So Labovitz, the goal scorer. He has done his part for the night. Now, this is going to be a free kick for Greenville. As it was Isaac Baua who went clattering into his man. Omaha have started the second half brightly. They've definitely been on the front foot, although you expect that a bit with Greenville now having a lead to protect. And I'm sure they'll look to take advantage of any dead ball situations to try to break up any momentum that Omaha might be building. Hugo Kamatani found it tough going in that first half, as did most of the Omaha players in an attacking sense. See if he's able to get a bit more going in this second half. Malcolm racing to close that ball down, and he nearly did. Well, he did, in fact, but the ensuing bounce was not kind for Omaha. Christensen took a heavy touch and took a bit too much time on the ball there. See the speed Kamal Malcolm has. Sometimes you have to pick your spots with these kinds of presses in heat like this. Malcolm could have just angled that leg a bit more. That might have bounced off him and into the open net. Here he is again. That was whacked off his foot by Don Smart. Greenville don't mind having to defend. Neither of these sides do. They're definitely being pinned back over the opening 5 minutes plus in this second half. That's a great ball out to Baua. Isaac Baua skidding it low. Malcolm tried to lay it off for Kamatani. Kamatani just couldn't get it out of his feet between two white shirts. Akoff now keeps it in play. Served by Skierce right toward the 6. There's Christensen to claim. Much better from Union Omaha at the start of this second half. Question always is, as this is offside against Venton Evans, when you're facing either of these two sides and you've conceded that opening goal and you're chasing the game the way Union Omaha are forced to do now in the second half, you're probably going to have a majority of the possession. You'll probably get the ball into some fairly dangerous areas in the attacking third, but can you find that incisive pass, that clinical final ball, and finish to create something meaningful from that possession? Both these teams generally exceptionally good and making it very difficult for you to actually do that. Union Omaha bench already in the ear of the fourth official and referee about Paul Christensen time wasting, as you saw Christensen move that ball from one side of the 6-yard line to the other. Rashid knew who will do the same thing for Omaha when they're in front. That's clever from Jimmy Filerman. He's walking up the touchline, asking the fourth official, all right, here, how about here? It's those savvy ways that players can just milk a couple more seconds. Take the sting out of the game a little bit more. And their side has the lead. When your team's leading, that's the kind of thing that's really fun to watch. When your team is trailing and chasing the game, it's infuriating, of course. Well, the USL is committed to supporting the LGBTQ+ community through the Forever Proud Project. The the USL strives to create safe and welcoming environments for all fans, players, employees, and partners. You can learn more at uslsoccer.com/foreverproud. Galvan, just 18 years old, of course, just 5'5". He's played really well for Omaha when he's gotten the opportunity this year. Akoff now by the end line. Did he win a corner there? Who did that come off last? It's a goal kick. Greenville's about to make another substitution, we're told. Peter Pearson is coming on. Told he'll replace Evan Lee. That is Lee, who is going down in his own penalty box. Lee in his 4th season with Greenville. He'll take the opportunity to get an apparent cramp worked out before he leaves this match. Peter Pearson about to come on. He was with NCFC last year. He's with Oakland Roots in 2020 in the USL Championship. Just coming back from international duty. Now you see the substitution. Pearson from Virginia Beach now officially checks in the 56th minute. All finally back in play. Greenville looking to put together their first attack of the second half. And it's Coutinho looking to scoop it over the top. Great ball. And it's in the back of the net, and it's 2-0. Union Omaha appealing for offside. The flag does not go up, and Greenville triumph in firm command now. What a goal. What a scooped ball over the top from Coutinho. And unfortunately, our cameras went out just as the goal was scored, but it looks like Keegan Boyd who finished it off. Or Jake Keegan, excuse me. Yeah, Jake Keegan was able to put it past the advancing Rashid Nuhu. Union Omaha appealed for offside, but it was not given, and now it's a mountain to climb for the home side. Well, Greenville with their defense in a very commanding position now. That's exactly the kind of game both these teams like to play, of course. Take the lead, force your opponents to come out and chase the game, and then hit them on the counterattack. Again, it was the first attack of the second half for Greenville. And it was both executed and finished beautifully. Akoff, Malcolm took it wide and then commits a foul that's very easy to call. It's a frustration foul, and I'm not sure what he's arguing about. Anytime two excellent sides are squaring off, it's a matter of which side will be more clinical with the opportunities they get. And it's Greenville who've been very clinical right before halftime and in their first attack of the second half after having to defend for most of the opening 10 minutes. They've taken firm control in that 15-minute span. The 44th minute tally from Jacob Labovitz. The 56th minute goal from Jake Keegan, the halftime substitute who came on for Labovitz. John Harkes pulling the strings excellently, as he usually does. Galvan, Bawa, Galvan again. Scuffed his cross attempt. Gordon. It's not a great ball, and Don Smart looking to spring the counterattack. Only had one man in white to aim for.
Find it again, Yost. Quickly, higher. Higher, Alex! Swing it. Other way. Yeah, higher. Eddie, higher, Eddie!
Well, still over a half hour to play in this match. If Omaha could find that next goal, things could still change, but quite a tall task. Into the box it goes. That is simple for Tyler Polak. Omaha appealing for handball, and it's given. They'll have a free kick. That's an unforced error from Jake Keegan. Not under a great deal of pressure there. He's giving away a free kick and a chance for Union Omaha to serve something into the box. Aerial ball again dealt with by the Greenville defense. An hour gone, 30 minutes to go. Greenville 2 goals to the good. Happy to sit back and absorb pressure for now. Ball wouldn't fall for Knutson on the edge of the area. See how high up the pitch Rashid Nuhu is able to stay, because Greenville don't have any attackers in that attacking half. At least not at the moment. That was a neat couple of touches from him, but still had it taken away. Now Greenville will pour some bodies forward. See what they could find on the counter. Read well by Touche, though. Skiers. Akoff. Trying to advance it down the line, but it was sent right back at him. Eddie Gordon now with a bit of space. Bawa. His cross over everyone and out. Only had Kamal Malcolm to aim for. Union Omaha already made that triple change at halftime, which appeared to change things for the better for them, at least a handful of minutes, but then conceded the goal. We've seen lots of crazy swings in League One matches, so this one certainly isn't over, but tough to see where the comeback is going to come from for Omaha with the way things are going right now.
Up, Yost! Come out, go, Hugo! Go! Get up! Yep, all of them, yep. Quickly.
The whistle blew there, and the Greenville bench incensed, as they're not sure why that whistle went. Jimmy Feilerman had played a good headed ball into the path of Jake Keegan, who was racing through one-on-one, it seemed. Apparently the flag was raised for offside. Now Doyle. That ball ran into the box, and then Kamal Malcolm's got to be careful. I don't think that was intentional there, as he tripped and then fell into Tyler Polak. Remember, Malcolm is on a yellow card, and he picked up midway through the first half. That's a few times in the second half that he has taken somebody down, whether advertently or not. And he's about to be subbed off. J. Mims seeing the same thing we are. Malcolm skirting that line, possibly being sent off with a second yellow. And he will be removed for Ricky Rivera, who's also returning from international duty. So there's the announcement. Malcolm off, Rivera on. Rivera not with the club last week when they traveled to FC Tucson. He was playing for Puerto Rico. He scored 4 goals on June 12th, last Sunday, against the British Virgin Islands in Nations League play. Doubled his career total for his country. He now has 8 career international goals. We'll see if he can provide a spark here over these last 26 minutes plus. Omaha with 1 substitution remaining tonight. There's Rivera's first action as he wins the ball back, then went down yelling. Dion Akoff, as advantage was played. Galvan, it didn't quite fall for him at the penalty spot. It's the story of the night for Omaha so far. It's just not coming off for them. That's good control by Coutinho. Just skating around players, gliding past them effortlessly. Coutinho now into the box and just had it run away from him as he might have pulled the trigger. Wonderful mazy run from Lucas Coutinho, but then has gone down at the end of it.
Trainer, please.
That's a terrible foul. Come on, the striker for his first foul down the end. How does he not get booked?
What was the warning, ref?
Luis, that's bad.
Well, Coutinho finally helped up by Nuhu. Well, if you can't watch the match, you can turn on Sirius XM FC 157. That's North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access Tuesday nights at 7 Eastern. Plus, you can hear live matches from the USL, MLS, English Premier League, and more. It's all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the SXM app.
Play. Go, Ricky, go. Ricky's chest, come on.
Coutinho about to be allowed back onto the pitch. Greenville temporarily playing with 10. Bawa trying to take that down, edge of the box, then has a strike, and he wasn't far away. Well, the Owls haven't had many efforts on goal tonight. Isaac Bawa's really had both of them. Malcolm had that deflected ball over the bar in the first half, but other than that, it's been Bawa. He had that strike from distance that was on target in the first half, and Meyer's willingness to take that on, have a pop. It's a good effort. Little sparks of life in the attack for Omaha, but trailing 2-0 against such a good defensive side like Greenville. Going to have to make those sparks turn into a flame, result in some end product pretty soon as we enter the final quarter of the 90 minutes. Galvan, Rivera trying to turn. A kind bounce for Omaha, keeps it alive for Akoff. Akoff not seeing a whole lot of options. And it rolls across the end line. It's a goal kick. More frustration for Omaha, more good defending by Greenville. Just joining us, Jacob Labovitz scored in the 44th minute, just before halftime. And then Jake Keegan in the 56th. Nate Schultz assisted the first goal. Lucas Coutinho deliciously assisted the second. A scooped ball over the top that Jake Keegan finished. I have to say as well, Greenville have been really good at winning those second balls tonight. They'll have a free kick here. Those balls bouncing around in the air. Talked about it so many times this year. That's such a specialty of Union Omaha. Winning the initial flick on and then getting onto that second ball. Creating opportunities in the attack from those flick-ons. Those really haven't been there tonight. Greenville have mopped those up very effectively for nearly 70 minutes. Greenville sitting deeper as this second half wears on.
20's coming out. 20's coming out. Okay. 27 in, 20 out.
Gordon. Rivera jostled as that ball came toward him and then ran away from him. Now handball, free kick for Omaha. Came off Peter Pearson's hand apparently. Sounds like Greenville are about to make a change. If they make that change before defending this free kick, you often don't do that, of course. A lot of coaches loath to make a substitution when you're about to defend a set piece. So they'll wait until after this free kick, which is taken by Galvan, lifted toward the 6, took a couple deflections, and runs out for a corner. It'll be the second Modelo corner of the night for Omaha. Some disagreement there from Greenville, looked like. Miles Fenton will be checking in to replace Noah Pilato, but yeah, they are going to do that now, even as they're about to defend a corner. So again, the second Modelo corner kick of the night for Omaha. They'll make the substitution first, Greenville, and they'll take their time doing it. There's Fenton onto the pitch. And now the corner from Galvan, taken short. Returned to him, skidded in low, touched along by Touche. Maybe a half-hearted shout for a handball, but nobody in black really thought that that was a handball. They allowed to go on. Both sides claiming the throw, and it belongs to Greenville. Lobbying, this time from Jake Keegan to Luis Arroyo. Elsewhere around the league, NCFC prevailing in the first League One Battle of North Carolina. A renewal of a longtime rivalry in different leagues over the years with Charlotte Independence. 2-0 NCFC winning that match. Free kick for the Owls here just into the attacking half. Told you Richmond held off Northern Colorado 3-2 in an entertaining match. Northern Colorado almost came from behind late despite being down to 10 men since late in the first half. Galvan, good touch to Skeers. He has a pop. Skeers trying to win it back. Good work by him. Falls to Gordon. Now Bawa. Good check back onto his left. Trying to clip it in, but Christensen off his line to claim. And Central Valley Fuego will take on Tucson out in Fresno in California at 10:30 Eastern. About 50 minutes from now. We'll also be on ESPN Plus, of course. Kamatani trying to turn, and Kamatani fouled. Free kick. Owls getting more and more set-piece opportunities in this second half. Greenville have defended most of them very well to this point. Galvan again to take. And flick toward the back post, stabbed across the face of goal. Again, nobody in black could get a telling touch on it. That was the best set piece Omaha have had tonight. And here's Christensen. That's an easy take for him this time. Now over the top, looking for that killer third. Jake Keegan was trying to take it down, forced to retreat. But happy to keep possession, and that's a bit of a youthful free kick to give away by Yoskar Galvan. Now Greenville about to make another change as Nico Brown will come on. And Lucas Coutinho removed. El Coutinho, in his return from injury, made a telling contribution with his beautiful scooped assist over the top for that second goal for Greenville. And with 15 minutes to go, Nico Brown looked to help close out this match. There's a cross, touched along. Confusion in the Omaha ranks. Put over the bar, it will be a corner. In Omaha making their final change of the night now. Eddie Gordon will be removed and Amir Ali Hadzik comes on. Jay Mims throwing on all the attack-minded players he has. His team very much chasing this game. First they'll have to defend a corner. It's the second of the night for Greenville. Brown, now Smart. And a free kick for Omaha, much to John Hark's consternation. And now the hydration break, as both teams will gather themselves for the final push in this sweltering second half. Well, for those of you watching back in the Greenville area, remember the Triumph will be back home soon, and it will be 90s night. Always a fun evening at Legacy early. That's June 29th, a 7 o'clock start, presented by Spinks. Get your tickets at triumphtix.com as Greenville will take on NCFC. We're flying high. Both these teams will have some good momentum going into that one. And then Greenville Liberty will also be in action on June 28th against Asheville, presented by Duke Energy. Again, you can get tickets for that match also at triumphtix.com. Don Smart taking the chance to put the cooling towel over the head. It's been a textbook road match for Greenville. Defended well in the first half, made it tough for Omaha to get forward. Found that telling goal right before the break. Gave them the advantage, gave them something to hang on to. Then Omaha making that triple change coming out of halftime. Started the second half brightly without really creating anything telling. Greenville, after defending for about 10 minutes, countered, and Coutinho chipped it over the top for Jake Keegan, who finished. Just like that, it was 2-0, and Greenville have held Omaha at arm's length relatively comfortably since then. The Owls have created some half opportunities. And again, not been able to create enough in the final third. Nuhu's free kick, one of those trademark long free kicks that creates danger right away. Now Ali Hadzik looks to serve it in. Cut across that ball a bit more than he would have liked. Galvan did well to win it back for a moment. Again, it just wouldn't sit down for an Omaha player at the crucial moment. Besides Greenville playing exceptionally well tonight and doing exactly what you want to do as a roadside, Omaha have not really gotten the break of the ball at all in the attacking half. You can say that Greenville have deserved whatever luck they've gotten tonight. How well they've set up and how well they've executed the game plan. John Harkes clearly laid out. Still the Owls come forward, seeking that goal that just might make Greenville a little uncertain over the final 10 minutes plus. They want to at least create an uncomfortable finish to this match. Switch it out to the right, didn't quite reach Ali Hadzik. We'll have a throw. Not really helped by his teammate there. He's trying to toss it to him and forced him to chase it instead. And the throw was defended well. Never reached Dion Akoff. Akoff now lifting that further. Rivera takes it down. Referee blows for the foul. Again, much to Omaha and their fans' frustration. Somebody's been shown a yellow card for dissent, it looks like. Not sure if that was Akoff. We'll get confirmation in a moment.
For delaying the restart, Coach.
It was a Greenville player who was shown the yellow, we're told. Miles Fenton. He's the second player carded for the Triumph tonight.
Go, you go! Lighter!
Now play is stopped for head contact on Smart has gone down. Well, that is Venton Evans, 19, not 10.
You go! Yeah, come here.
Yeah, another tough night for Hugo Kamatani. Man who was an All-American at University of Nebraska, Omaha here in town. Got off to a really good start this season in his first professional campaign. Coaching staff love his work ethic, his ability to learn and absorb coaching. He's in that period of his rookie campaign, I think, where opposing defenses have just adjusted to him a little bit. Now it's up to him to make those counter adjustments to his game. See that collision a moment ago. Yeah, Bawa and Evans just coming together there. It was so important for Greenville to come back with a strong performance tonight after that disappointment last weekend at Forward Madison that temporarily halted the momentum they'd built up over the previous weeks. So crucial for them not to let one defeat turn into two. They put themselves in an excellent position to bounce right back with a big, big win against the defending League One champions. Not quite a done deal just yet. Omaha are going to have to find a level of incision they've not been able to find for 83 minutes thus far. We have a free kick as Skierce was pushed down by Miles Fenton, who felt that Skierce went over a little too easily. Fenton is on a yellow. Galvan lines up the free kick. Again, first man able to head it clear for Greenville. Bawa, nobody home in black. That's exactly what Greenville want. More seconds come off the clock as they have a goal kick. I talked about how much talent Omaha lost from last year's title-winning team, how much turnover they've had. For the most part, they haven't missed too many beats at the start of this season, especially not in U.S. Open Cup play. Meanwhile, here's an opportunity that flashes just wide. Well, put across the face by Venton Evans. And Nico Brown unable to get a touch to it at the back post. It did take a deflection, and it will be a corner for Greenville. Well, half step over, drilled low and hard by Venton Evans. Not sure if he was trying to shoot there. Dangerous ball either way.
Connor, get out there. Go ahead, Connor.
Greenville happy to settle for the corner.
Get out there, Connor.
So they're looking to take short. And now they do.
Get out there. Go ahead, Connor.
And good work by Nico Brown. He earns another corner. Very well done. That's excellent forward play when you're nursing a 2-0 lead on the road. It's not the most glamorous work, but it's really effective. So you look to wind down that clock. Trying to do it again here, and he's bundled over by Ali Hodzik, who is called for the foul and called for a yellow card. And Don Smart, oh boy, that looked like a kick out from Don Smart. What's he going to be shown? Well, I didn't see if anything was shown to Smart. Ali Hodzik already in the book, and then he and Smart squared up to each other. It is a yellow.
Hey, how much time are we going to take? Hey, I mean, he's just getting pissed on. This guy's just getting pissed on. How much time is it going to take?
Well, those yellow cards presented by Hale Varsity Club. Frustration boiling over for Ali Hodzik there. Don Smart is going to take this free kick and will look to take it as short as possible, I think. He's first arguing that the Omaha players should be further back than they are. The referee agrees by a step or so. Now he pulls it all the way back to Pollock. Nico Brown shimmying and again keeping possession and then blasted out of play by Galvan. This has been some absolutely clinical time wasting by Greenville. And that's not meant in a disparaging way at all. This is, again, absolutely textbook for what you want to do. And you're trying to take all the air out of a game and wind down that clock. That time, Nico Brown going to ground, and that was not bought by the referee. Long kick forward from Nuhu. Second ball back forward, but again, Greenville able to deal with that, as they have been throughout the night. Rivera taken down by Doyle, trying to have a strike. Again, that next ball ran away. Here's Ali Hodzik now, trying to pull it across. It deflected off Pollock, off the outside of the post. It will be a corner. Again, the bounce is just not going for Union Omaha. That cannon deflection again could so easily have crept inside the post instead, but did not. Ali Hadzik takes the corner. Not very well, unfortunately, from an Omaha perspective. Not a good ball out. Back into the box. Touche. Come off his body, and again, it ran too far away from him to do anything meaningful with it. Ali Hadzik. Oh, miscommunication with Doyle. That kind of night for Omaha. And now the Owls are stretched. The counter is on for Greenville, and here's the speed of Venton Evans. Carrying it wide, having the strike, Evans side netting. So close to a third as he puts his shirt over his face. Trying to beat Nuhu at that near post, and nearly did. Might have hit the outside of the foot of the post. See how much time we'll have added on at the end of this second half. Here's Galvan in a pocket of space. He'll line up a shot. So many blocks by Greenville defenders tonight. Ali Hadzik. Bawa. This ball in, back post. Appeals for a penalty. And again, Luis Arroyo waves them away. Knudsen went down in the box. Felt that he was impeded. We've had the 90 minutes. We will have 8 minutes more, at least. So, not a ton of time remaining, but still enough that if Omaha were able to find a goal in the next couple, it can still set up that proverbial grandstand finish. Akoff. Clipped in, but well over Kamatani's head. Jake Keegan. He wins the free kick, taken down by Knudsen. Union Omaha having done to them tonight what they have so often done to opponents over the last 2.5 seasons, especially away from home. Get yourself in front, defend really solidly, look to hit your opponent on the counterattack, and use all of those savvy, wily ways to frustrate and demoralize. Greenville can play that game very well themselves, and that's exactly what they've done tonight. First goal is always critical in any soccer match, but you always felt it was going to be especially so between these two opponents. In the League One final last year, Omaha got that first goal in just the 6th minute, and that changed the whole tenor of the night, set the tone for the rest of the night. This evening, it was that 44th minute goal just before halftime from Jacob Labovitz. It changed everything and put Greenville in control. This will be a goal kick. Still just over 5.5 minutes remaining. Omaha needs something to break their way in a major way very soon. Connor Doyle. Akoff. He's flanked by two defenders. Ali Hadzik. The touch from Skiers. Every time Omaha players have taken just a heavy touch initially, there have been Greenville defenders around them to make sure they didn't get a second touch. Ali Hodzik. And was clipped this time. Free kick. Another card coming out. Another Hale varsity yellow card, this time shown to Nico Brown. Fifth player carded for Greenville tonight. They won't particularly mind as long as they can see out these final 4.5 minutes. Keep everyone on the pitch. Doyle takes the free kick. Christensen comes for it, and Christensen claims. Very solidly and securely with both hands. Now Akoff down the wing. Akoff looks to put it across, and yet again, took a deflection off somebody's foot, and it just would not fall to a player in black. Akoff again. Corner. A third Modelo corner of the night for Omaha. Ali Hodzik takes. And the volleyed attempt. Good effort, solid contact, but very high. So just 3 minutes of the added 8 remaining. Vaulted forward. Anywhere will do for Greenville at this point. They are just about there. Nuhu able to walk that ball almost a quarter of the way up the pitch, and two-headed balls later. It bounces on frame. An easy save for Paul Christensen. It was J.P. Skierce who got his head to it and directed it goalward, but unable to get much power or direction behind it. That is the danger Nuhu and Omaha pose from those long kicks. Weren't able to really showcase that danger for most of tonight. Benton Evans takes it to the corner, milks a few seconds. A somewhat strange and relatively subdued night at Werner Park. Credit to Greenville for making it that way. They were able to take the air out of the balloon really effectively tonight. And again, Omaha with an Open Cup quarterfinal to look forward to on Wednesday. So they'll feel that this fixture fell at an inopportune time for them, but that's not Greenville's problem. If that's the case, whatever the case, they've taken full advantage tonight. They played really well. And we're into the final minute of stoppage time. Doyle lifts it in, headed along, harmlessly wide. That might just about do it tonight. One more goal kick for Paul Christensen, who hasn't had an enormous amount of work to do tonight, but has done it really well when called on. He's been especially secure coming for crosses and commanding his box. One more attack for Omaha. That's a great touch. Akoff looking to play in Skierce. Skierce across the face. That was going wide. Stabbed out by the foot of Christensen. Galvan wrestled off of it. Free kick, Greenville. Referee looks at his watch. Had the 8 minutes. Probably have the free kick and not much more. Christensen waving everybody up, taking his time, puts his foot through it, and that's it. Well, it's not a League One final. It doesn't make up for that one last year from Greenville's perspective, but it's a good start in gaining a measure of revenge. And more importantly, it's the momentum regained for them tonight as they're back in the win column. It's their third victory in their last 4 matches. They continue their march up the table as they defeat Omaha tonight by 2-0 in their return to Werner Park. Play of the match tonight will be presented by Shady Rays. And it's the first goal for Greenville that swung this match in their favor, again, right before halftime. It's such a crucial moment of the match. And Jacob Labovitz really did it on his own. Cutting toward the middle, got a kind deflection off Alex Touche, but did so well to put him in that position, put himself in that position in the first place. Nestling it into the corner. All right. Catch intelligence catch of the match, meanwhile, belongs to Paul Christensen with this save from Isaac Bawa. Got behind it really well. Both the man who hit it and the man who saved it. Great effort by Bawa, but Christensen right there with our catch intelligence catch of the match. So an outstanding road result for Greenville Triumph. They, of course, will hope later this year to go to a 4th consecutive League One final and put right what went wrong at the final hurdle last season. We'll wrap things up with our final highlights and full-time stats and a look ahead to both these teams' next matches when we return from Werner Park.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Calling all kids and youth group clubs. Friday, July 1st is Youth Sports Night at Werner Park. Call 402-884-8051 to get your group tickets now. You won't want to miss out on this special night. Again, an excellent road performance by Greenville Triumph tonight as they defeat Union Omaha soundly by 2-0. John Harkes gathering his men for a post-match debriefing. It'll be a happy flight back to South Carolina for he and his side. Let's look at our full-time highlights. Those are presented by Cool Greens. And a very cool set of highlights from a Greenville standpoint. Again, opening the scoring right before half in the 44th minute. Jacob Labovitz, such a good check inside. Able to curl it into that far corner. That just changed everything. You figured it would, and it's exactly what it did. Labovitz celebrated his fourth goal in 4 matches. Rather mutedly, has to be said, but extremely effective. Omaha made 3 substitutions coming out of the gate in the second half, and they presented some danger. Kamal Malcolm there closing down Paul Christensen, one of his only shaky moments of the night, but it still worked out for Greenville. Then in the 56th minute, unfortunately, our camera feed cut out right as the goal was being scored. It's such a shame because it was a beautiful one. A gorgeous little lift over the top by Lucas Coutinho to set up Jake Keegan, who was able to put it past Rashid Nuhu. Some late little laughters. I think Don Smart can count himself slightly fortunate that he was only shown a yellow card for that. Tough to see how much contact he actually made, but he rode the line there and was able to keep himself on the pitch. Our final match stats, those are presented by Catch Intelligence. 14 shots for Union Omaha, but most of them off target. That was the story tonight. Just 2 shots on target for Greenville, but both of them wound up in the back of the net. And again, that's exactly what Union Omaha have done to so many opponents this season and in past seasons. And the script was reversed this evening. Even the possession, 60-40 in Omaha's favor, but usually it's the other way around. Usually it's Omaha with 40% possession, but the majority of the goals. Not the case tonight. Greenville Triumph taking 5 yellow cards, but again, no reds. That's the crucial thing from their standpoint, along with the final score line, as they'll have everybody back next week. Our upcoming League One schedule, Week 13 next week. First of all, we round out Week 12 tomorrow on ESPN Plus at 6:30 Central, 7:30 Eastern with Tormenta and Forward Madison. Next week, Union Omaha visiting Tormenta FC after their cup match at Sporting KC on Wednesday. So it'll be a taxing week for Omaha. We'll see what they have in the tank next Saturday at 6:30 Central. Greenville will face Charlotte Independence at home next weekend as well. Well, we hope you've enjoyed the match. For our entire great production crew, I'm Donnie Barnes. Greenville Triumph, an outstanding road performance. And their momentum continues after the loss last week. Back in the win column, back amongst the points this week. Labovitz and Jake Keegan tucking in the goals. It ended in Omaha tonight. Greenville Triumph 2, Union Omaha 0.
Rebroadcast or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League, League One.